Most researchers today who are into the UFO and exopolitical field believe that most ETs travel in spaceships between the stars, with mother ships of quite enormous sizes to house a large group of star beings. Therefore, they are looking up in the sky, hoping to see a glimpse of one or two of them. The truth of the matter is that if you look up in the sky often enough, there is a chance you may actually see a few UFOs now and then, and if you are a researcher you can tell your listeners or readers that you have seen one firsthand, and you are therefore sure they do exist. And you wouldn't be wrong, because they do exist. However, the same researcher may state that the UFO he or she saw must have been of extraterrestrial origins, because no known Earth technology can do what this particular UFO did, whatever it was. This is exactly where they go wrong. I would say, yes, they certainly can. People have no idea what humans can build today and have fly across the airways. The technology the powers that be are in control of is no less than jaw-dropping. Hence, it is totally understandable that people who see UFOs believe they are not human crafts. Although, the more advanced UFO researcher knows that the governments of the world are in possession of complicated technology, and that not all UFOs flying in the skies are alien craft, but they think it's both. And like I've said before, again I beg to differ. It is true that the technology often comes from technology transfer programs, TTPs, and that some ETs may use some of the craft themselves when they travel short distances. The vast majority of the UFOs we see in the sky have human origins. To be able to test fly all this new technology, the government needs to come up with a disinformation campaign and a cover-up. This is where the UFO community is very helpful to the power that be. Therefore, the government is paying disinformation agents to put out pictures of UFOs on the internet and in other places to get the UFO community on the hook. Often, the same disinformation agents are actually members of the UFO community themselves and sometimes are the ones in charge of them. After have put photos of the new government craft on the internet, they just say that this is way too advanced to be human craft. Also, when others have seen UFOs and photographed and filmed them and put this evidence on the internet and YouTube, the same agents are verifying that they are alien craft. All with the purpose of steering the researcher away from the fact that they are secret government programs. Then, of course, the government is always covering both sides of the story. They have so-called debunkers employed as well, who debunk everything that has to do with UFOs, saying it is human technology, or just a bird or something. This way the disinformation agents have covered all aspects of the subject, and the general public is utterly confused. The best part, the part the government loves, is when people who are confused of what is what start debating the subject and fight internally. Then they put new disinfo agents in these debates as well and confuse the matter even more. In the meantime, serious UFO researchers continue looking up in the sky, hoping to see another UFO they can report as being of extraterrestrial origin. The same formula is applied to alien abductions. The government is abducting people themselves, to use their own species as guinea pigs in their own absurd experiments, sometimes dressing up like aliens, and sometimes just showing up as humans. Afterwards, the abductee is given an amnesia implant, similar to the type of implant people get between lives, and taken back to where he or she was abducted. There are often layers of false memories implanted as well, so during a hypnosis session, or under regression therapy, it is still hard to figure out what really happened. And even if it's figured out, it doesn't tell the abductee much anyway. The real alien abductions are often metaphysical, and if they are physical, the ETs are mostly using human bodies. My point here is to stress that the fake alien invasion will most probably include so-called alien spaceships, hologramic and third-dimensional in nature, while the real invasion will happen in the nano-world, where the ETs don't need to come in spaceships. Most of them will come as souls/avatars, and if they are using 3D bodies, these bodies will for the most part be human, almost impossible to distinguish from real humans. Unless they want to show off as terrifying reptilians or greys, or Dracos with wings, just to create an effect. If so, it's easily accomplished with technology, shape-shifting, or genetically manipulated bodies in storage, corresponding with any of the above. A couple of months ago, I got a comment from someone who said she is a member of the Cosa Nostra Vril Society, female membership only. I found it pretty interesting, as she was explaining the way human technology has taken since the days of Nazi Germany. Here follows the comment in its entirety. The Germans had flying discs. One of the wonder weapons, these crafts evolved ever bigger and ever more dangerous. The early ones uses petrol-fueled engines to drive the electrical anti-gravity system. Eventually, they were able to come up with a near-nuclear type of power plant to power the lift and propulsion systems on the larger heavier craft, with the effects of bending and distorting time and matter. The discovery of the Bell device by the Allies also was the power source to the Honebu craft. A discovery that the Allies made sure was cloaked in secrecy ever since. Both the existence of Honebu and the Bell have been targeted by disinformation. Whether or not you can accept it, or believe that other races of beings inhabit the cosmos does not negate the fact that they do. Humans have seen them and had contact with them since the beginnings of cave and rock wall art, and records kept on clay tablets or papyrus. This is why German explorers were combing all of ancient Eastern culture resources for any evidence of lost technology. They found numerous examples. The Vimanas are just one example. The Vril Society Thule Society DHVSS members all came together under one umbrella. It was a uber-metaphysical society looking to discover a new never-before-tried avenue of supernatural achievement. This is where the cult of the Black Sun arose. Consider it something akin to the dark force side of the universe. This doesn't mean it is satanic or demonic. It simply means that there is another force. Just like a black hole is a cosmic force that behaves completely outside of our known laws of physics. There are other forces that most are unaware exist. Currently there are other races of beings that inhabit the earth that are not humans. Some are rather nasty and do not like humans. Others exist in places we don't normally see. Like the far side of the moon. There's enough evidence to support that something once inhabited the subterranean of Mars. They are out there. They take mammals from Earth, and use pieces and parts of them for God only knows what. This includes humans. The human mind is a conduit and it can be open to otherworldly influences, if you are trained for it. The Vril mediums practiced an ancient form of telepathic psychic trance. They connected to the waves of a group of alien telepathics. Thought is energy, and it transcends time and space. Apparently these off-world intelligences were also technologically far ahead of us. Why these entities would share/transmit knowledge with humans is open to debate. There are reasons why the inhabitants of the cosmos are largely quarantined from each other by vast distances that are not easily traveled. There are some societies of other intelligent beings that are not benevolent. Humans themselves are not benevolent. We are warlike, aggressive, destructive, selfish, racist, and also extremely arrogant in our nescience. The highly politicized and propagandized atrociousness of the Nazis pales in comparison to the Christian Crusades, the Inquisition, the Conquistadors, Napoleon, the Marxist Revolution, Pol Pot, or other long-ago conquests by mad men with armies. The Germans wanted to purify the Germanic culture. In every society there are the dead-end links, the undesirables, the troublemakers, the anarchists, criminally insane, the half-breed, and those who poison the well genetically. Those that refuse to leave or get out, have to be dealt with. What the Nazi regime decided it had to do to accomplish its aims is nothing new. The USA wiped out the Native American Indian culture, was that right? No, it wasn't. The USA with socialized health care will have death panels, the money mongers will decide who lives, and who dies. It won't be pretty. It'll also depend on who you are, and what your value to society will be. The Nazis wanted to create a 1,000-year Reich. A new order. The USA is the new Holy Roman Empire. The newest attempt towards a 1,000-year realm. We are only 236 years into it. Some of the former German Honebu craft did survive. Some ended up in Brazil. Some in Russia. Some Antarctica, others in the USA. Some continue to fly well into the 1970-foot and early 80s. There are one or two that operate off and on out of South America. Most of the earlier types today are no longer operating. The USA has anti-gravity lifting devices. The huge black triangles that are sometimes seen, and the flying Vs are ours. Some are pilotless craft controlled via satellite navigations. These vehicles were developed in the 70s and 80s. They are a testing platform. The latest craft are spookily able to cloak into thin air, and are so undetectable that they operate in the daytime. The other flying wonders the US is developing is super-hypersonic scramjet craft that can fly near zero gravity, be invisible to any radar, and circumnavigate the globe in mere hours. We are also developing stealth missiles. Stealth submarines are being developed. We cannot as of yet light your travel time. We can however clip time. The Germans found I am a current member of the Causa Nostra Vril Society. I also am a theology practitioner. I do not do physic readings for others. I have seen the signposts of the psychic travelers who are still putting out signals. It is truly mind-opening. This explains a lot about what people have seen in the skies over the decades. Although there are people who are sensitive enough to see nano-sized spaceships bleeding through, but these people are rare. There is now enough evidence to understand that the governments have spaceships that can go in and out of the visible spectrum, and therefore being perceived as interdimensional. This whole concept is so very important to understand if we stand in front of an event where not so benevolent ETs are trying to win us over, using holograms and advanced technology to prove that they are real and are coming from outer space in advanced spaceships, when they are nothing but. They could jump in and out of spatial time, with mostly bad results.